that kind of segues very nicely into the second point that you mentioned at the start of the session, around human error. So in your experience, what does that look like, and what's the impact on organizations that you've spoken to about this?
Yes, so the human errors, it unfortunately, we are all human, of course, and at some point a mistake will be made, whether it's a decimal point in the wrong place or a name typed in incorrectly, or some other issue with the payment. And what then happens is if that payment then gets sent, is actually delivered to the bank. So it's actually there, it's actually in the bank portal, and it's being processed by the bank. There are a number of repercussions because of that. The first is then, does it get spotted at that point? Has it been actually identified as soon as it's been typed in and as soon as the payment has been instructed? Does the organization, does the person realize that payment is an error? If they do, then they can do something about it, and the impact may be slightly less than actually if it's not spotted as an error. So then what happens is the bank actually processes that transaction. And let's say we were paying just paying a supplier payment. Then if I've paid it, if I've paid the wrong amount, let's say in this case, and I've paid less, then I could get penalized by the supplier to say, actually, this is a late payment, you haven't paid enough. Therefore, it then gets escalated back into the business. And it's no longer just that cashier, that person in the accounts payable team who gets involved in addressing that. It will get escalated up the business. And so whether that gets to the head of the cashiering team, the head of the payments team, or even further to head of finance or even CFO level, this is no longer just around that single person who's trying to address this. This is many people in the organization trying to address that human error.
So I guess again, it goes back to that efficiency piece. It's like, is it worth having all of this resource allocated to this role if this keeps happening over and over again? It keeps having to get escalated, and essentially processes have to be repeated multiple times, so you're essentially paying for the price of twice. And I guess on the other end of the spectrum as well, I've certainly heard about scenarios where errors are made and companies find it very difficult to actually get that money back.
Yeah. So if they then, the payment is then delivered to the beneficiary, and actually maybe in this case, let's say they've paid too much, so they actually want to refund. What's the process for getting that money back from that organization? And that can be an extremely lengthy process, and again involve multiple people in the organization, just because somebody put the decimal point in the wrong place.
Absolutely. And if that payment goes out to perhaps a customer who isn't part of an organization, I don't know if you're an insurance company or a lender or something, and you're making a payout to a customer, there's nothing to stop that customer running away with the money and just being forgotten for good.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and all because Tom had a late night or wasn't feeling very well, and an error has been made. There are other ways that we can address this issue.